What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Shout out to the Dragon Riders and the House of the Dragon. Right now we're sitting at $464.95, essentially $465. It is May 3rd for me. On the chart, it is May 4th. Yes, the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you, as they say. I like Star Wars, but I'm not really like a Star Wars nerd, to be fair. I don't really celebrate May the 4th, but all over the place with this fib. It's crazy that you've hit your expected extensions and you're still showing respect even below your 618 over here. It's nice to see, but it's just odd to me. Normally you don't respect this fib past the 618 whenever you move down here, so it's kind of cool. Doesn't really mean anything, at least not to my knowledge. Doesn't mean anything, but relative low to high here, we found support on the 786. You guys, this really could be the low. That really is a possibility for BCH to have found its low at about $400, $399, you know, right there. Even if that is the low, we are not out of the woods yet. We still have a lot of work to do, and we are absolutely not done with this correction, right? A correction, a lot of people might think it's done once we found the low, and I hear that. That makes sense, right? There's logic behind that, but in my opinion, the correction isn't over until we're at the end of our consolidation phase, until we're done consolidating, right? And I mean, maybe we start to consolidate like this, you know, okay, maybe then the correction's over. We're still consolidating, but it's over once we break this line. But as long as we're in this range, as long as we're still like down here, any move up from here will likely, even if this is the low, any move up from here will likely be given back and then brought up and then given back. You know, Bitcoin Cash is anything but a straight line. And whenever it is a straight line, it gives a lot of it back, right? If it doesn't look like it does, let me just show you what I mean, right? So, I mean, essentially from here to here, we moved up in a straight line 104% to the upside. And then in a straight line down, we moved down in 2 days, 30, is that 35 or? Yeah, 36% essentially. So pretty big drop to correct this. Oh, pretty big move up. Sorry, that might have been loud. All I'm trying to say is even if that is the low, we're not out of the works yet. We're not out of the woods yet, because we've still got probably a long time, not like a long time, but a few months, a month at least, of consolidating and moving sideways. Even if we are moving up, it'll be sideways with a slight tilt up, right? Something like that. Something like we experienced back here. I'm not convinced yet that that's the low, though. As bullishly as I've been talking this whole time, and I did not pause the music, man. I'm so sorry, guys. You know, I know a lot of you like the music, but there are some people out there, they find it distracting, you know, and I want it to be enjoyable for everybody. Hit that like button if you're enjoying the video so far. One more shout out to the Dragon Riders there. High to low, this relative high to low, we did tip the 1272, and this is something that I didn't notice in my last video about BCH, but man, this is actually a really, with this reaction on the weekly, you guys, it's a very, very good look. It really is. And that actually kind of counters anything that I was about to say negative. I was about to say that we might go lower, but man, I don't know. As I'm looking at this right now, that is a pretty damn good look. And the weekly RSI, where we are, it would make sense to find a low right around here, man. It doesn't mean we can't go lower from here next week or the week after, right? And when I say lower from here, I literally mean from here, not from that low, but from the current price. But man, that might have been it. That might have been it. I'm curious to see what happens, but you guys, I am actually starting to believe that was the low. That fib, that's a very significant fib right there, man. And you tipped it. I mean, you found resistance on the 618, the 1618 pretty damn perfectly, held it. You wicked below the 1272, but you held it on a closing basis right there, and now you're tipping it, which is also an area on a weekly basis, even without the fibs. It's an area that you've closed at, which just validates or brings more significance to this level in itself. That might have been it, you guys. That and on top of all that, right, you've got the lower low with the higher low, hidden bullish divergence. That might have been it, man. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Okay, so last time we were in this kind of price range, right, which arguably we're in this right now, right, we were here for about 29 weeks, 28 weeks, 30 weeks, whatever you want to call it to make sense of it, right? We've been in the same range, I mean, debatably, I guess, since here, but like really, maybe really here for the last 6 weeks, 5 weeks. It says -5, but I drew it backwards unintentionally. Whenever I say we have months to go, we really could have months to go before we break out to higher prices. I don't think it'll be 30 weeks or 28 weeks or even 25 weeks, but, you know, let's see, how far would August be? It really could. It could be another 15 weeks from now. I mean, I guess it could be like 20 weeks overall, 21 weeks overall before we start moving higher. Just because we found our low does not mean we're done moving higher yet, and I want to go back over something relevant. Man, I did not expect the video to go this way, guys, but I'm actually very convinced that was the low. If we go lower in BCH, where we're going to go, I wanted to say this before I got, what's the word I'm looking for, surprisingly bullish. If we were to go lower, 370 to 380 is the target area, and I would be shocked if we went lower than that. I would even be shocked if we went lower than that now. I know that's been the area that I was calling for as of my last video and putting on the table as a possibility for the past few weeks, but now that we're here, guys, now that we're at where we're at and we're seeing this positive reaction, I will admit on a daily basis I'm not as excited, but the weekly is what does it for me. I'm very convinced that that's the low. I think we have it. I think it's in. I might have to redo my BCHG video, man. That's just a joke. You know, BCH, for anybody who's in Grayscale, the Grayscale Trust, BCH can move lower from here and not form a lower low, but BCHG can form a lower low. BCHG can be more bearish than BCH. It really is possible. It's a less liquid market, but just that being said, I really do like this as a low for BCH. Back to the main topic. And what was I going to say? I got all distracted. Oh, right. This is what I was going to do. Okay. So we moved up here pretty intensely, right? And we found our low. We consolidated for a long time. Everybody remembers this excruciating range, right? Everybody's watching all their favorite cryptos pump. Everybody but the Dragon Riders, right? We're just sitting on sleeping dragons here, watching the red and green dragon just not really even fight. It's like they're just like cuddling. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it, whatever analogy works. Right now, they're definitely fighting. But you can see that out of this whole range, from top to bottom, that took place in 7 weeks. Whereas the range, very, like, obviously we did not break out of it until 35 weeks. 35, right? That is what, is that 7 times 5? Yeah, so that's a fifth. That is a fifth of the time of the whole range that it took to consolidate to find its low. From top to bottom here, that was 4 weeks. 7 weeks, 4 weeks. If we were to go by that same metric of it being a fifth, then that would be what, 20? That'd be 20, right? Because 4 times 5 is 20. And 20 weeks would put us out until about August, the middle of August, actually. And that would still be a sizably smaller, that'd be 15 weeks less of a consolidation phase, still sizably smaller. We'd be getting going toward the end of the year, having a nice consolidation phase like this, looking ready to go higher. I mean, it wouldn't be crazy. And beyond that, you know, when we were in this same range, we didn't really break out of it for 28 weeks. Could we be doing the same thing of a similar nature, you know? Here, you found your low after 4 weeks, but you didn't break out, like really, truthfully. You probably didn't break out till this week, which is 44 weeks later. I mean, maybe you had a little breakout here 24 weeks later, but that kind of fits with that narrative, right? That's almost a fifth there. I guess more like almost a sixth, but I don't know. We can find our lows very soon is all I'm trying to say. We can find them in a very short amount of time, but the consolidation part is what takes the longest. And the consolidation part is what normally scares people out of their positions. I'm taking so long to talk about this, you guys, because it's an important thing to talk about. Okay, I've been running around and trying to get to this main point, and this is the main point. Do not get bored. Or get bored. Go ahead. Get bored with Bitcoin Cash. Do it. But don't let that influence your emotions. Remember the game plan, okay? And if you're like me, if you share the same kind of plan I have, this is my plan, right? I'm not telling anybody that this is what they should do. This is just what I'm doing, what I know a lot of you are doing as well. But throughout this whole phase, every single time that we are below, because when I say whole phase, we've yet to develop it, right? We're going to be in this range probably for a while, and we will likely not be at the upper parts of this range. Okay, if we do, very brief. But I would say anytime that and you know what, we've got fibs, so let's just do the fibs. Anytime that we are in the lower half of this range, as in below the 50% line, as in below $536, really below 500 would be ideal. Those are ideal times to buy. And yes, even with this over 10% recovery that we've had so far by the end of this week, I mean, it's looking really good. Even with that, it's still a really good time to buy. 464. You guys remember whenever the price was up here at 720 and I was talking about prices going to 600 and people were like, I hope so. Like, that's great. Well, look at where we're at now, man. Like, this is phenomenal opportunities to get in on some Bitcoin Cash. Absolutely it is. At no point throughout this time until August, potentially August. I keep saying August. It could be July. It could be June. I doubt it'll be this month. It could be later than August too. You know, it is possible. But I'm rolling with the idea of it being August. At no point in time will it be a good time to sell. You know, the best time to sell was back here, and we've missed that. If you haven't sold up there, if you're not playing the game, don't start playing now. This is not the area to sell. This is the area to buy. All of this is going to be the area to buy. And I would really say that below, as long as you're buying below 536, you're probably buying at an ideal area based on this consolidation phase that we're going to be in for the next month to, and I would say at least a month, if not up to like 3 months from now, probably. That all remains to be seen. Time will tell. I would love it if I was wrong. I know all of you would love it too, but man, if we just started on a straight terror from here, and by the end of this month we were up at $1,000, or maybe sometime in June we're at $1,000, whatever, I will be the happiest incorrect person in the entire crypto space. Because whenever you're wrong about something, when you're wrong about your projections and instead it does this and you're making money, that's winning, man. That's really winning. I love being wrong and still making money. That's like the best. It's nice whenever you're right and you make money. It feels good for your pride. But man, there's something magical about being convicted in an outcome and it doesn't happen, and then you're still making money. There's something magical about that. So I hope all of you are like me in the sense that you're taking this phase to accumulate, and while it's here, you're accumulating, because it might not be. Who knows how long it takes. You know, it could be next month that we're up here. It could be August. It could be later. You never really know, and that's why we take these opportunities to load up more Bitcoin Cash. And man, I'm droning on at this point. I really like the weekly RSI. I really like this as a low in itself too, and we're getting the right reaction that we need. Looking at the daily, every low that we've had since we found our bear cycle bottom, right? This low right here, very big candle with a big wick, right? This low right here, very big candle with a big wick. This low over here on this consolidation phase, very big candle with a big wick. This one, not as big. Relatively speaking to itself, yes, it's a big wick, it's a big candle kind of. But it's a different shape than anything else we've seen. But I will say that the weekly candle, that right there looks like this one here, right? I mean, obviously it doesn't have as much of the body, but looks like that. That one there, big wicks. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we like to see. We like to see big wicks in Dragon City. Let's see. Haikanashi, where are we at here? Where are you at, Haikanashi? TradingView added so much, man. 3 weeks. We're flipping the days here. I don't know, man. I'm excited. That's all I got to say. Look at this. It's a red month, right? Yeah, I can't help but believe we're going to go higher from here. Flip this month green. It could be red. It's okay if this month closes red for the Haikanashi. But I'm just droning on, babbling at this point, you guys. I'm just talking. So, with all that being said, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more. I think that was the low. I don't think we're going lower. However, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw prices that were lower than the current prices, right? We absolutely could revert back to about 440, 450, 420. depending on where this high goes, let's just say it were to go to this high here, find resistance at a previous area of resistance, you know, that 443 level to 435 does become our 618 golden ratio. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else I want to say. I'm excited, you guys. You know, we have probably, I genuinely do believe that that's the low. But again, just because we've done that in such a short amount of time does not mean we're moving up yet. We've got some time to consolidate ahead of us, so take it for what it is. It's an opportunity. That's all I got for you. Hit the like button, subscribe. I will see you on the next one. Peace.